bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I've felt a lot of women refuse to understand. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money, whatever spring. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Making such a fuss, and I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. 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 When the world starts spinning around, I'll be rocking. Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of the new. Oh, na 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 na. I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid, you're feeling alone. Time and space can never unfold. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghost embrace can only me tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to land of new. Oh, na 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 na. Sitting at the lake, I'm feeling confused, but I had my guitar, so I played this blues. But I'm afraid, what might be true, that I might never be back again. Seems to me that I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must be back before it's too late. Before it's too late. Someone to take me down at night. Someone to make my day. New revelation fills my soul. Oh, I can waste away. You distracting my attention, you're all that's on my mind. You not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone I need to taste your life again. I need a rendezvous. New revelation just fill my soul. Beginning and ends with you. Distracting my attention, you're all that's on my mind. You not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do, yeah. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else, yeah. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do, yeah. She knows that nothing feels sweeter than someone else. Yeah, don't it seem funny that I'm in love with you, yeah. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else. Yeah, 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 you. Oh, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Oh, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Oh, you. Oh, you. All right. Yeah, yeah. Where did my color go? Got your head in the sand. You can't be in control, using a powerful hand. I wanna be you, I wanna see you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, hot little cutter, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. to ring a bell. Rackets free from the maze. We can be taught to love. We've got to learn a new way. I wanna see, I wanna be, don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shadows. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue. Yeah. I wanna be, I wanna see, don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. Push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Yeah, black and white and blue. You're going black and white on the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue. Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of new. Oh, na 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 na. Seems to me that I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid, you're feeling alone. Time and space can never afford. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghost embrace can only mean tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back for lands of new. Oh, na 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 na. Sitting at the lake, I'm feeling confused, but I have.
I already got something for that. You ready? Here we go. You ready?
Eric, are we already at Easter?
No, that's the
Yes.
bunny.
I mean, that's Easter.
That's hoppity hoppity.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
Hold on, you ready?
We did it.
And well, there you go, 4 up. There you go. And that is just because number one, with the last 5 minutes, and number two, who the hell does a show before an 8-hour debacle that they're gonna have to be on 8 hours?
That
This
would
guy.
be us.
This guy.
That would be us.
These, you know, it's gonna be crazy. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know. But that's the off the rails. But anyway, so we'll do the sponsors real quick. We got some giveaways to talk about. We got some final last minute kind of things for Astropalooza that's going on. It's gonna be cool. And Eric, you are gonna be you may run outside the green screen because you're gonna be very excited about this news. So you may run around like a little chicken without a head. So you're gonna be excited about this.
Gosh.
So here we go. So let's do the sponsors real quick. Oh, no, I don't want to close that. Quick play. There we go. All right. So we do the for those of you, yes, Eric's got a green screen, Dylan. Yes. But we do have sponsors that we have to thank. It is coming close. We're coming close to the end of year and season 3 of I almost said AstroPalooza, AstroWorld TV. And we do it with sponsors. They give us a lot of stuff. They give us a lot of money. They give us prizes. They give us whatever. So thank you to all of them. Main sequence level sponsor Woodland Hills and Camera, Woodland Hills Camera and Telescopes. And we're going to be giving away, is it tomorrow or next Friday? I think it's next Friday. Another $250 gift certificate for Woodland Hills. Were we doing it tomorrow? I don't remember.
I thought we were doing it tomorrow. No, we're doing it for Christmas. No,
we're doing it for Christmas. Okay. So next Friday.
Yeah.
So thank you to Farah and them. And also, if you haven't been to Woodland Hills, we're on their website. It's pretty cool. It's like being a kid in a band and seeing your band's name on the marquee. It's kind of fun. But anyway, thank you to Farah for putting us up there and helping us out. So Red Giant level, Prima Luce, Camera Concepts, and Optolong. Thank you as well. We got some cool stuff to go over with the Prima Luce with Tom's presentation. It's going to be a lot of fun. Camera Concepts and Optolong also. Optolong, we're giving away another SHO set and LRGB set tomorrow. Sign up for the giveaways if you haven't done it yet. And I got some real fun stuff to talk about when I'm done with this. So, Masters of Pixinsight and IP for AP, another big super giant level sponsor, gave us total amount of free classes and yearly subscriptions and everything. And plus, they've given us more. There's more they've given us that we're going to be giving away tomorrow. So, thank you to Masters and IP for AP. Excuse me. We can't do this without any of our member sponsors. We just gained another main sequence sponsor yesterday, so we're continuing to grow on Patreon. The more things we do on Patreon, the more things we could do with videos and all the types of giveaways we give. So thank you. Get your perks by going to our Patreon account and signing up and joining us on Patreon. Black Hole members, Red Giants, Main Sequence, Protostar, and tomorrow is Astropalooza. It is tomorrow. It finally is here, and that so far is not so far anymore. It's that's all the guests we have. So as I said last week, Adam Block will be doing a recorded video on pixel math, which is very, very cool. All the Masters of Pixinsight will not only be doing their presentation, but they'll also be hanging around for the live panel, all of them. So it'll be a kind of cool thing. Also, for the live panel, we have Charles Bracken also going to hang out with us, as long as members of us our panel as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. After, if there is an after, if I survive tomorrow, we will have on the 14th, Craig Stocks will be coming on from Utah Desert Remote Observatories for his second appearance on AstroWorld. So going to be a lot of fun to see what he has going on over there and what improvements he's made over at Utah Desert Remote. And January 4th, we got Don Goldman from Astrodon coming out of the woodworks. You haven't seen Don for a while, and looks like he may have some information to share. So we'll kind of see what's going on for that.
Cool.
Damn. January 18th. January 18th is Carlos. Scratch that. It's the 11th. Damn it. Back and forth. I'm sorry. It is the 11th. 11th. Carlos Aragon. That's right. RFT stars. And Eric, if you want to take it away for a little bit and talk about that.
Yes, this is great. Just like what we did for LAS, this is Reach for the Stars, based out of Tucson, Arizona. Carlos and his wonderful wife. He is an Air Force veteran, and he has an outreach program that he works with children who deal with different types of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, a whole facet of things. And he works with them through astronomy to help them deal with their problems, deal with their issues, to help them out, to make them more comfortable. They do a lot of STEM projects, building telescopes. They also do a lot of outreach as far as for families in need, doing food drives and a lot of other things. It's really fantastic. I caught on to these guys a while back. They reached out to me through Cloudy Nights, and we had a great conversation, and it's absolutely awesome what they're doing for their community, for these children, for the families. So we're going to have a bit of a marathon, I would guess you would say a marathon or fundraiser for Reach for the Stars. So we would really appreciate everyone's support, especially this is the season of giving, and we would really appreciate everyone who is willing and able to give. Even doesn't matter, small, large, doesn't matter. Just if you're inclined to give, to help these kids out and to help Carlos and Reach for the Stars continue doing what they're doing. We really appreciate it. But on the 11th of January, Carlos is going to be on, and he's going to share a bit of a presentation and share, what he's been doing with Reach for the Stars, and talk a bit about their goals and what they've been doing out there in Tucson, Arizona. So we really look forward to having them on. Nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be another fundraiser. We were pretty successful raising almost $500 for the Lima Astronomical Society and in Ohio, and we're hoping to exceed that at our next fundraiser on the 11th of January for RFT Stars. So good job, Eric, picking out that. I think it's a really worthwhile cause. So
absolutely.
All right. So first thing on the agenda is, I got my list. I actually make lists now. I'm somewhat organized. See,
did you check it twice?
I don't believe in Santa Claus.
What?
Well, I know he's definitely not nice, Eric. So
no. What did you just say, man? You don't believe in Annie Claus? You don't believe in Santa Claus?
Santa Claus was actually a demon, as far as I'm concerned. But that's okay. That's another story.
You heard it. You heard what he said. You heard it.
I'm out.
No, that's Krampus. That's German.
He's out. That's it.
And if anybody's ever seen the movie from the 80s, and I regress, Silent Night, Deadly Night, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But anyway.
You got to see the new Violent Night where Santa kicks everybody's butt.
Oh my. All right. So Astropalooza is tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock. It's here. It's happening. We have been all over the web. Woodland Hills put us on their banner. Masters of Pixinsight put us on their banner. Explore Scientific put us on their banner. And it's been unbelievable. We hit a milestone. We have increased the membership of AstroWorld subscribers on YouTube 100 members in the last 28 days. So broke 1,400 subscribers this morning. So thank you everybody for all the support. I mean, all you guys that watch us are awesome. So thank you so much, guys and girls.
Crowd goes wild.
Unbelievable.
Well, with that being said, then Dan, how come we've got 29 watching, but we've only got 12 people hitting the like button?
Because they don't do it.
They don't do it.
What?
They don't do it. Yeah, right. Hit the like button.
You know
I just hit the like button. Hit the like button.
See, it's not just us. We need everybody. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Hulk, smash the like button if you gotta. I don't care. Just hit the like button. And don't forget, if you're on Facebook, share to public. Caring is sharing. Sharing is caring. Get everybody who's in to Astro Imaging onto Facebook, onto YouTube, onto Twitch. Get them wherever they can consume AstroWorld TV. Get them in here.
Absolutely. We love doing this. We do this twice a week. We've been doing it twice a week for 3 years now. 3 years. And it's been an awesome traveled road, and it's been great. So thank you so much for all the support. And everybody's awesome.
Yes.
We have new giveaways. Well, updated giveaways. The first thing we need to talk about is I've been getting a couple of questions regarding, well, it's a lovely idea that Dr. Sass is giving away a premium data set, but what is it? What's the image? What is he giving? And so I got that answer today, and I'm going to show you what it is. And here you go. Does anybody know what that is? And don't read.
Oh,
It's a
that's
glob.
easy.
It is a glob. It's a big glob.
It's a big glob.
Come on now, don't be bashful. Everybody knows what it is.
It's a great glob.
Let's see. Has anybody answered it in the chat? Because I wasn't watching. Let's see. Nobody said anything. What is it?
Hold on. Give him a chance. Give him a chance now.
All right. We'll do a poll. How about a poll?
Bring it back up.
We'll do a poll. We'll start a poll. What is the free data set? Okay. Add option. There we go. So the M13 Omega Centauri. Okay, and we'll add one more funny one.
Who was it? Did someone? Yeah, someone say Pegasus. The M15.
And there we go. There is. Did it come up? There we go. There's the poll. All right. So
Leave it to Dan for item number 4, right?
Lisa thinks it's that one.
Lisa, no. So we'll let that run for a little bit. Okay. And we'll let that run but we do have some other giveaways while that poll is running. Now, I'm not going to mention the person's name because they probably don't want me to mention their name. But first, you know who you are. Thank you so much. Now, the first two things are quite interesting. The first one is a TeleView Soul Searcher. Now, these were given to me personally by somebody that said, I want you to succeed. I want you to give this stuff away. It's almost brand new. It's literally been used like twice. So, TeleView Soul Searcher is one. The other one, which I thought is pretty cool, and I actually thought about keeping it, but I thought, nah, I can't keep it. But I need a new one of these. This is the laptop tent. Okay,
Oh,
so
cool.
when you're in the field, you put your laptop in there. It gets rid of the glare for everybody, and so you don't bother anybody around you when you're in like Cherry Springs or whatever. It pops up. It's fairly big laptops too, so pretty cool. Now the other two are very scope specific. So I was thinking about either selling them or asking somebody if they want to buy it, if anybody has a specific telescope. So the first thing is a 0.8 reducer for teleview refractors with a focal length from 800 millimeters to 1000 millimeters. And if you want the model number, it's the RFL 4087. But it's semi old, but it's in mint perfect condition. There you go. So that's that. And I don't know how this got a ZWO EAF bracket for the Celestron C11 or C14. So, I don't know. She just gave it to me, but there you go. So those are the 4 things that were given to me. If anybody wants to make an offer for either the flattener or the EAF bracket, feel free. Just hit me up on dan@astroworldweb.com, and you can just make an offer, and we'll put it in the kitty for Patreon or whatever.
Nice.
So that was a really nice thing. So, wow. So, should we let the poll run a little bit longer, or
Yeah, give it about 5-10 more minutes.
let the poll run. Let
Yep.
these people in the northern hemisphere talk. Let me
We've got
close.
33 people watching, but we've only got 20 likes, so we definitely need to get a couple more likes here.
Yeah, guys, if you like what we're doing here, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Stay away from the thumbs down button, but please, So, we have a couple of things. Hey, Sean, what's up? Smash the like, smash. Hey. Oh, what was that? I got an echo.
Thumbs down button. Oh, damn. Hold on.
Yeah, right. We do have a couple of critique items. People were sending me some photos. We could do that a little bit.
Yes.
Let me just pull it up on the screen. And we're also giving away a Masters of Pixinsight Class tonight. So is it me, or is like Google Drive just getting so messed up? There we go. Critique. All right. So what do we got?
Hey, there's Sean.
Yeah.
What's up, Sean? Welcome.
Let's see. I might have lied. I think the last one was. Oh no, this is not the last. Oh yeah.
Hey, Al, how are you? Corin,
my buddy. What's up, man? So here's the first one. Actually, it's the only one that we have right now. But here's the first one we got.
All right.
Oh, you guys aren't seeing the live, right?
I'm not seeing the live.
Oh, you gotta tell me.
You gotta give us the live.
I will change it to the live, so you guys will have an easier time watching the show. There you go. There is the live.
Pretty. Man, look at the dust.
That's always great when you can get the dust.
Yeah, that's amazing.
This is from Carol Santulis, who is an avid watcher of the show.
Are the stars a little
bloated?
Globby?
A little bloated.
They're a little bloated.
A little bit.
A little bit of, a little bit over, maybe a bit overexposed on the stars.
Maybe you just need a little bit of star
reduction.
Reduction, yeah, some star reduction. Go out there and grab Bill Blanchard's star reduction kit.
Yep.
A little halo too. Go back down. That big star. Keep going down right there. Those little halos going on there.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little star reduction, and that would probably make that pop.
Yep.
That dust is unbelievable. Maybe a tad more strong-handed on the noise reduction. Maybe a little bit. This needs a little bit more to me, I think.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
we're
splotchiness.
pixel peeping there, Sean. Yeah.
Come on, Sean. That's our job. You know that.
Pixel peepers.
I can't get closer.
But it's
I could get.
I would add a little
It's
more.
a beautiful picture.
What was that?
I would add a little more contrast to bring out that dust on the top of the nebula. You want to separate that from the white. See at the very top. Keep going at the top. Just a little more contrast will really just blow. Really make this thing pop.
Yeah.
I mean, the dust lanes look good.
Yep.
I like them. I like the running man. Got a lot of detail in there. Really nice job, Carol.
Yep.
Very, very nice. I like it. We got to do a picture of the month today, right? Everybody go vote. Go vote. Got to go vote. Oh, I didn't say it. So, since I'm there, I may as well show it. So, let me just say, so the Astropalooza giveaway, the door prizes sign up, right? So the door prizes sign up, that the record that was set, the standard that was set from the Prima Luce Eagle giveaway back in July. That was at about 200, I think it was 200 even, maybe 201 that signed up for that giveaway. That record has been completely destroyed. Like
shattered.
And I'll show you where we're at right now. Well, let me just read, because we might have gotten a little bit more since I
close to double, right?
What's that?
Close to double.
So here you go. 337 entries.
Oh,
Lord.
330. You know,
I mean, and you know what? Every one of you entries have better subscribed to AstroWorld on YouTube and all of that stuff. No, just getting in and just hopping in and getting the door prizes. We want you to subscribe too and hang out with us and have some fun. Maybe learn a few things.
And so Sean, I know. I mean, Sean just let the cat out of the bag there, but so it looks like with Sean's segment, Wayne from Sky Shed is going to be on with Sean, hanging out, most likely touting the new Sky Shed Pod S, which it's going to be really, really cool. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I mean, you know what? I came this close to think about getting it, but I might be moving. So I
hope so.
Eventually, not, within the next couple of years, I might be moving. Now, do I want to go for a Sky Shed Pod S now, or just get like a 3-bay and throw it on on a floating deck and wait?
Why not just get it now?
I don't know.
What's the difference?
Easier transport with the smaller pod.
Okay,
that's the only really big thing.
Sure.
And it's totally automated.
Okay, that's a valid point.
I don't know.
So Scott let the cat out the bag that you were going to tell me. Yep. You guys remember the movie Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?
Of course.
Steve Martin.
How do you forget that movie?
And I'm so giddy. I want to run around like this.
That's what I said. I'm telling you, it's gonna be
I
great.
just want to run around like Steve Martin
Ruprecht.
right now. I'm excited.
That's funny. Hey, so we'll see. You know, we'll see what's going on. I might do this at the. I want to see a little bit more, and maybe Wayne and Sean can convince me to put a down payment on the Pod S. We'll see. But as long as it fits on my floating deck, we're fine. So
Yes.
so.
I gotta get all of the specs for my whole area right now, because I think my area right now where I put the pier and everything, I think it's 11 by 11.
Okay, that's an
And
odd
so-
number.
I know. It actually was meant to be 12 by 12, but I think with everything, it ended up being 11 by 11.
Somehow I just lost 12 inches somewhere.
yeah. Oh no, that's a scary thought. Anyway, but
Hey, that's a loaded statement there, Dan.
Don't.
Oh, I know. I
Leave it
opened
alone.
myself up for
Don't
that
go
one.
there.
I know.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, don't go down there.
And then the peanut gallery is going at us already. You know.
Yeah.
So, but I am gonna put up, blocks and put up a small platform and everything. So it'll extend out over, and it should be 12 by 12. And so I'm gonna have plenty of space, and I'm looking at a three bay. I've been looking at a 3 bay for the longest, but I've just been waiting. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So.
Mr. Dan, let's close the poll.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we got 20 votes, and I'm pleased.
It's a tie.
I'm pleased to say that 80% of you are incorrect. You darned Northern Hemisphere narrow-minded people.
Oh, you're kidding.
Wow.
So
Hey, it's
only
filtered
stuff
by-
that you could see, right? So the answer is 47 Tucanae,
Yep.
and that is not the largest globular cluster in the sky, because that is Omega Centauri, but the second largest globular cluster that we could see anywhere on Earth. So
you're saying that it's northern hemisphere bias.
totally
Is that
Northern Hemisphere bias. Not anybody, because you know what? Omega Centauri, you could see from Long Island. You could see it. It only
but
gets
it's so
to be
low.
a half a degree above the horizon, but you could see it. And it looks like I guess, the Andromeda Galaxy in a 3-inch scope. That's what it looks like. A little smudge. But it is 47 Tucanae. And that's going to be the premium.
So who won it?
No, that's going to be
anybody
given away tomorrow.
Ah,
It's going to be
That's
given
what's
away
gonna be
during Dr. Sass's talk tomorrow. So that should be fun. Is there going to be a pod giveaway? Actually, yes. I hold that thought.
You had to go there, didn't you, Josh? You just had to get him going. You know he's going to come back with something out of the closet of death, right?
Is there going to be you know what? If there was going to be a Pod S giveaway, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I quit. I'm leaving because I have to sign up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I got just what you need. You want pods? Here you go.
Yeah. Tide Pod. Knew it.
These
Knew it.
are DrinkWorks pods. If you can find a DrinkWorks machine out there, you could have all the pods you want. There you go.
Did I tell you, Josh? I told you not to get him going. I told you, Josh, not to get him going.
This is a gin and tonic, and this is a strawberry vodka lemonade. There you go. Alcohol is included in the pod. Have a nice day. All right. Let's see if we have it. Hey, so today is supposed to be the beginners Q&A night, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to throw this out to the members out in the chat tonight on let's get some beginners questions out there that we could answer for you. Maybe if you're even not a beginner or something that you think that should be discussed for beginners, I think it would be a good thing to kind of throw that out there. Since it's the night before, to be honest with you, I don't think we prepared anything for tonight because of Astropalooza tomorrow. But I think that if you could throw some questions out there, that would be great to keep the conversation going. So please shoot them in the chat and we'll end this poll.
Hit them up. Hit them up. Let's see here.
Where is the best write-up for enabling CUDA acceleration in PI? Oh. Well, there are a couple
don't have
things.
the NVIDIA card, so I can't say.
Oh, okay. Well, Dark Archon's site does it. And I believe Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I watched your video on it a bunch of times regarding enabling CUDA GPU graphical, to use the GPU graphics card instead of your main CPU to help speed up processing. So either one will work well. I'm pretty sure Sean has the video on it, and it's very, very well done if I remember right. No, Sean must be working. He's working. Guy's always working. How about the importance of calibration frames? Ooh. Anybody want to touch on that? Because we all have thoughts.
You don't need to use calibration frames. You can shoot without those. Your images will suck, but it is what it is.
Who needs calibration frames?
It's like taking your beautiful
needs
Nikon.
frames.
It's like taking your beautiful Nikon lens and just smearing mud across the front element,
and then taking a beautiful picture.
Exactly, pretty much.
So let's talk about that for a little bit, because this is something we talk about a lot on Beginner Show. I'll tell you a little quick story of mine about flats, and I never took flats. Before I even, I don't even consider myself good at astrophotography. Even now, I don't consider myself good. But when I was just starting out, I was like, flats, who need them? I'll just crop out the vignetting. I don't give a crap about that. I just crop it out. The day I said, let me find out what these flats are all about. And then I totally calibrated my lights with the flats. I was like, oh my God, this looks so much better. Why did I waste 4 years of not doing flats? And, I just started doing it. So let me tell you, flats, darks, bias, dark flats, flat darks, whatever we call them these days, super important to get rid of a number of issues before you even start the processing. Right or wrong, guys?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
So
flats, you got to take flats, so you can deal with vignetting, you can deal with artifacts, you can deal with dust, dirt, smudges on your sensors, your filters, all that stuff. And so for me personally, above all other types of calibration frames, this is me personally, I think flats are probably the most important of all the calibration frames, of all the types. Flat frames are the absolute most important.
Yep.
Because you can get away with, not having dark frames, especially if you have a lot of the newer cameras that don't have amp glow, like, my 2600, and you can dealing with the, with the noise and that, the read noise and everything. but you cannot get rid of the vignetting and the dust smokes and the artifacts and everything else that I mentioned unless you do flats and do good flats, proper flats, and to calibrate those to calibrate, those light frames out. It is an absolute, bar none, the most critical ones you need. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think they're all equally important. I mean, for those of us that aren't lucky enough to have those lovely cameras out there with no amp glow, I think that darks become very important. I think flats become very important. I think bias is even important. Now, with the CMOS cameras the way they are now, with the low, like ridiculously low read noise, people kind of mistaken things a little bit between read noise and thermal noise. There are two different types of noise. One is where you convert information from analog to digital, and one is based on the temperature that's being radiated from your board and onto your chip, which makes things called hot pixels and cold pixels. Hot pixels look like stars, but they are not. It's one pixel and it's a little bright speck in your photo. And there could be, and Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there is some sort of percentage that's allowed of dead pixels in a chip. I think it's like 8 or 10% allowed max. And then it lowers the grade of the chip, if I remember right.
Yeah, what happens, remember there's grade 1 and grade 2 chips.
Right.
And what'll end up happening is you'll get what they call columns, dead columns. And you can definitely go ahead and you can wipe those columns out. But what happens eventually over time, a grade 1 sensor will degrade into a grade 1 sensor will grade into a grade 2 sensor. So when people always say, hey, do I need to spend extra money on a grade 1 sensor? I say, no, don't bother with it. Just get a grade 2 sensor and you'll be fine, because there's really no need to spend that extra money.
Yeah, because even
monochromes cameras will always say, hey, look at this. I'm going to be interested in buying a used camera, but I've got these columns. And as I said, if you got 2 columns, you'll be fine. If you've got more than 3 columns, I would definitely be a little skeptical at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you could do certain things, and it only works so far with the cosmetic correction we talk a little bit about, where you could take the neighboring pixels and average them out to get rid of those dead columns out there. I used to have a dead column with my QHY 16200, and it wasn't even a full column. It was only like a third of a column. And then when you're thinking about it, okay, it turned out to be 30 pixels. That's how big the column was. 30 pixels over what, 60, 40, let's say 6,000 by 5,000. That's, what is that? 3 million pixels. I mean, not a big deal, So you got to remember also, Josh, when I say 8 to 10%, 8 to 10% of the pixels, when you're dealing with 11, 12, 13 million pixels, it's really not a lot when you look at the grand scheme of things. Especially when they're spread all over. If it was all clumped into one area, yeah, oh man, you're a mess. Get rid of that chip, sell that camera to somebody. But but the whole thing, that most of these pixels that we go around are spread out all over the place. You may have a broken horizontal row or a broken vertical column somewhere, but you know what? It's not going to, when you're talking about the grand scheme of the mass amount of pixels that are on the sensor, 8 to 10% when you think about it is not so much when they're spread over 11 million pixels or more.
Yeah.
And as you said, if you don't take your dark frames, and then when you finally look at your completed image, when you pixel peek, you'll start to notice that there's these dark spots.
Yep.
And that's where you'll notice that's where the hot pixels are. So you're absolutely right, Dan. It's you want to take. Now the question is how many dark frames should I take? How many flat frames should I take? How many bias frames should I take? That brings up another set of questions that we should definitely address as well.
I would say it's based on the amount of subs that you take. because you need, if you have a lot of subs, you're going to need more because you're going to need the statistics to get the imperfections out of your picture. If you have like an object, like I just did, I did almost 1,100 subs on the Andromeda Galaxy.
Okay.
1,100 subs, and I said, let me try something. I'm only going to take 20 of each, 20 lights, 20 darks, 20 bias. See what happens. Did not work for me. Did not work. I had a big black spot over here from the amp glow, which the camera has. The 183 has an amp glow, so I had a big thing. I had blown up pixels. It was pretty bad. So gotcha, Josh. I'll get to it. But once I increased to about 75 on the darks on everything, came out great. Now that's at 1,000 subs. Now on a regular image, you're not doing 1,000 subs. You got to remember those 1,000 subs only equals out to about 7 hours of data because I was doing 30-second subs, right? So what do you guys think?
Yeah, for me, it definitely depends on the number of subs you're taking. I would agree with you there. I usually am around between 30 to 50 myself.
Yep.
It really depends, but yeah, like I say, it really depends on the number of subframes, lights that I'm taking as far as calibration frames. As far as darks, I usually take 30, building up my dark library. But sometimes it's just like, if I'm working on the project like I'm working on right now with ABEL85, that's going to take a lot of frames. That's going to take a lot of time. I'm going to be doing about 50 hours, maybe more, worth of integration. So that I may end up, going and doing some additional, more darks and, than usual, as well as more flat frames than usual. But I always take flat frames after every project that I do, because based off of that project, that dictates to me the type of and the number of calibration frames I'm going to do.
Yep.
So that for me is when it comes to flat frames. Now, like I said, for dark frames, then I may add on a bit more. I may take it, like I say, I usually hold on to a master. I usually do 30, but I may end up doing another 20, maybe an additional 30, and building up my dark, building it up, that master dark off of that number, depending on the number of subframes I end up doing.
Eric, you bring up a good point, because a lot of that depends upon where am I shooting? What's my site location? What's my borders? How long of a duration am I shooting? And what is the read noise of the camera? So I agree with you is that if you're at a Bortle 1, Bortle 2, and you're, say, shooting 300 second light frames, then I personally, where I go to my dark sky site, I will take no more than, say, 20 dark frames, maybe 35 flat frames, and I may take between, say, 30 and 50 light frames. And then if I'm going to be at home and I'm going to be saying, okay, I'm going to make a dark library, typically my dark library, I will change out every 6 months. Right. So you can definitely do that about twice a year. If you're going to do a dark frame library, determine how long your exposures are. If you're going to do 2-minute exposures, 3-minute, 5-minute, and maybe a 10-minute. And in your case, ABEL85 being a very low surface brightness target, you may want to push that to 600 seconds, 900 seconds. So you're going to definitely want to make that dark library for that duration as well.
Yep, exactly.
And where was I going to go with this? I never, just so you know, somebody's throwing a, John is throwing out a number of 20% darks and flats versus your lights. And I don't know if I would go like that. The flats I do every session, just like Eric does. So that's a must. Now, if you're taking all night, you're taking 3-minute shots, 20 to 40 may be fine for that. that'll be fine to do that. But just think about that. When you're doing a multi-night session, that's 20 or 40 flats per night, right? So if you do 3 or 4 night sessions, now you have, let's make a round number, let's say 30 times by 4, that's 120 flats. But it's spread across about 4 sessions. So just remember that, if you're doing it like that, number one, because I usually never go over 100 flats. I never go over 100.
And Dan, that's just for one filter, right?
That's just for one filter. Yes,
one
that's
filter.
just for one filter.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So multiply that now by
4. So you're talking about 480 flats. The 500 flats you're taking. But again, just remember that, if sometimes if you have and I'm not recommending this. Let me just throw it out there. I'm not recommending this at all. If you have a super clean, super sterile area where you never move the scope, you're in an observatory, you may be able to get away with a flat library. You may be able to get away with that. It's not recommended to me. I won't recommend that to somebody who's like myself, taking my telescope down and putting it up every night. I won't do that. And it's going to be interesting to see, because if you take a look at some of these remote observatory places, they have libraries of darks and flats and lights and bias.
like eye telescopes. I mean, they already have a flat library. So when you get into there, if you just want to get their images, they're already calibrated. And so they do that. So, as I said, everybody's got a different rule of thumb. It's whatever you want to do, but typically for me, 30 flats is fine. That's where I would do it, because once again, what's the real purpose? You want to get data, right? So it's your light frames. Summertime, once again, we lose an hour, right? So you really want to be able to capture light. That's the key, is getting your light frames, because that's the most important thing. So if you can do a lot of your dark libraries that you can do ahead of time, that means that when you go out, really all you're doing is just doing your light frames and your flat frames. So that's really what you want to do, is to focus on those 2 items.
Now, here's a question regarding flat frames, especially when you're using a monochrome camera with multiple filters.
Okay.
Focusing, the focus. There are some people, there's some arguments out there to say, hey, you don't want to change your focus when you want to go back to that focus point of where you were imaging at. However, if you are scrolling through, you have a filter wheel and you're scrolling through the night doing, narrow band, Hubble or LRGB, what is your opinion or your take on the necessity of that focus point when doing your flat frames at, say, the end of a session? Do you go ahead and do you stop everything and do you do your flat frames prior, putting everything in a focus at a certain focus point, doing your autofocus, and do your flat frames prior, and then go ahead, then do your imaging, because most likely you're going to be returning to that focus point on that filter? Or do you do it afterwards or in between? What do you recommend? Or does it really matter?
Well, focus definitely matters. It absolutely matters, because if you think about this, if you have a dust mote up on your objective, right? If you're out of focus, you may not see that dust mote, and then when you come into focus, there it is. So that's a big deal. So normally what I do is that I do flat libraries. I do them, even though I say I don't recommend them. I do them because I am super careful with my equipment. I put the cap on when I don't need it. Everything's closed up. I don't remove anything. I don't change the image train. I don't do anything. At least until I'm done with that project. I don't change a thing. So if I'm imaging, let's say, the Orion Nebula, that's all I'm imaging until I get the amount of data that I think is going to suffice for me as the artist. Now, that being said, I do now that I have the Giotto flat field frame. It's an automatic flip flat with the Alto. The Alto is coming every night. It's going to be in my Nina program saying, okay, close it, put it at a specific brightness, and do the flats every night, right at the end of the sequence.
So
Okay.
you know what's interesting is what I do is I keep a notepad and I always write down. I mean, I've got a little for every image I've ever taken, I keep notes. And so what I do is when I go out and on my Starlight Instruments rack and pinion focuser, they've got the gradients. So when I know I'm in focus, I get my little light and I say, okay, this is exactly where I achieve focus. So what I do is when I come back in to do my flat frames, I adjust my focus to that exact same point that I had when I was out in the field, and I put the flip flap, and then I go ahead and I start to do my imaging, and I don't have an issue. So you can get real close. You don't have to be exactly the
No.
same right there at this point, but you can be plus or minus just a little bit on flats, and you're not going to have any issues.
Yeah, but you just can't be so far out that you don't see all the dust modes. That's the whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah, and plus, we're talking about vignetting too, because I mean, it's just not the Desmos. We're
That's
talking
true.
about, you notice the vignetting as well. So you can't be so far out that your vignetting is just absolutely out.
Outrageous.
But as I said, and Eric, you and I have talked about this many, many times in the past. Is that this little note? Believe me, this little notepad right here that I have, as I said, it is loaded with every image that I've ever taken. And I keep it because whenever I come back and I say, hey, wait a minute, I remember I came across that, I can make reference back to it. And as much as we have all the automation with the Nina, Voyager, there's still something to be said about taking notes, because once the fact you've got everything running and it's imaging, it's just downtime. Well, why not just start taking notes? Kind of look at what you've got going on, take a look at where your focus point is, write all that information down, and believe me, you'll make reference to it. You'll always come back and you're going to say, I remember I needed something, and you won't remember it, but if you got it in writing, you'll have it.
Get in writing. Trust me, you should see you should see my actual digital notebook, my OneNote. It's like full of all. I usually transcribe everything I write down. I ended up putting it in a OneNote. So because I don't want to lose it. I hold on to it.
Yeah. And this brings up now another point, because I got a call today from one of my clients, and he really kind of brought up a good point that I don't know what the answer is to. But he was talking about flat frames for your narrowband filters. And he was saying, Pete, when I take my HA and my O3, I get a real nice narrow band on the histogram. I get a real nice peak, and then it kind of narrows out. But he showed me a flat that he took with his S2 filter. And I couldn't believe the dynamic range on that S2 filter. And he said, is this typical of an S2 filter? And it's a chroma filter, right? He's got chroma and HA, 3 nanometers,
Right.
or 3 nanometers. But the S2, when I looked at it, I kind of sat there and I said, wow, this is kind of unusual, because he would actually get the peak, it would come up, and then it would kind of plateau out, and then it would just kind of drop down. And I was just thinking, when you looked at the image, you could see that there was definitely either some kind of a light, but he just was curious to ask me the question, is this typical of an S2 flat, that you're going to have a lot of dynamic range within that particular flat frame?
So what was the answer? Is that normal for that, or?
That's what I'm asking. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at it, and I was just kind of going, that's a good question. I was going to see if maybe Matt was going to be on tonight.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that with my S2 filters. I haven't seen anything. I've seen that before, where it kind of goes up and down and kind of levels and then drops. But that's usually because something kind of either I got some stray light from somewhere, or something that wasn't right for that image. Not maybe it's got a light leak somewhere. I'm not 100% sure on what that would even be. I'd have to see more of the histogram and the image. I really can't. I'm throwing darts right now. So let's see, what is this? What's this? I see a Nina. I'm a note fiend. Does Nina keep a log of the autofocus? Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yes, it does actually. Yeah. So you could go back into the log and get focus settings later. Yeah.
Yep. And if you wanted to, you could actually put that in your in Nina. You could put that in your fit setter. You could put the focus position in the fit setter.
Yeah. So case in point, that's the beauty about it, is you get out there now and you say, okay, I've got to take my flats, but flats are going to occupy time. So why don't I just do this? Get my darks, get my lights. I can do bias frames in the house. I can do my flat frames once I know what my focus point is and I can remember what it is.
Yep.
So it gives you that capability of just kind of thinking that, you know what, time and darkness is really what we need to kind of work within. Those are the parameters that we have to work within. So definitely, especially in the summertime when we lose that 1 hour.
Ugh,
I mean,
it's
Eric,
horrible.
where you're at right now, right? Dan, where you're at, you know, at the higher altitudes, you've got what, maybe 6 hours, 5 hours at the most before dawn starts again?
Higher altitude? Who's at a higher altitude?
No, higher latitude.
Oh, I thought you
You know,
said
you're at a
altitude. I'm like, I'm at 12 feet.
I mean,
You know, so yeah, no, yeah. So there are nights where I'll get less than 6 hours a night. Start at 10, done at 4. You know.
Yeah.
And Eric, you're the same. You know.
Yeah.
You're the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see, rotation. Yeah, well, that's something we should talk about as well. With for those of you that have rotators out there, rotation when you're doing flats, it's very important. That's why let's see, do I rotate anymore? Not so much. I have a manual rotator now because I need to save on the backspace that I need, the back focus that I needed. I need something a little thin. So I got a couple of the William Optics manual rotators. That's if you have a Red Cat, you know what I'm talking about. It comes built in on them. They sell them also separately for like $100, $120, something like that. That you can fit on the M63, I believe, on both sides. And you just slap them in, and you can manually rotate the scope. You're not the scope. You can manually rotate the camera to frame whatever you need to fit in your CCD or CMOS chip. But Josh, I believe Josh mentioned it's super important that either you put that in the fit setter or do your flats the same, because your picture needs to be at the same rotation as your flats and vice versa. Or else you'll be calibrating for vignetting on the left side that you don't have. Maybe it's supposed to be on the right side, but you rotated the camera and now it's on the wrong side of the chip. So you want to make sure that you're when you're doing rotation, your best bet is to do, again, what I'm doing as rotate, do your flats, stay on the same project, and don't move your rotator until you get enough lights and enough flats to where you're satisfied of the data captured. So if that's 10 hours, 20 hours, 2 hours, whatever it is, stay on that target. Don't rotate to another target and try, unless if you're really, really good with data management and able to kind of manage where you put these flats, it can get really confusing and putting flats in the wrong folder, and then you're calibrating with the wrong flats.
or Dan, what you do is you pick celestial targets that fit the orientation that you want to stay with for the better part of the night. So let's say if you're doing portrait or 45-degree or landscape, right? Choose the two targets that will fit within that, and that way then you can get your flats and you don't have to worry about it because you're not going to change that orientation.
Change orientation.
Yep. Don't change. You know, I mean, and for those of you out there with the lovely camera that I hate, the 533 square sensor.
You don't have to worry about it.
I hate the camera. I hate the camera. I hate the square sensor. I'm sorry. I just don't like it. But but
You don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about rotation because it doesn't matter which way you put it. It's a square. It doesn't matter. Now, when you're imaging with something like this, it doesn't matter where you rotate it because all sides are equal, right? Now, when you're imaging with something like this, okay? Now, with me, Andromeda Galaxy won't fit this way. I have to go diagonal on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I have to rotate in order to fit it because that's what I want as far as framing is concerned. So I am going to stay on Andromeda until I'm going to rotate, take my lights, take my flats, stay on Andromeda until I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And then move on.
Yep. And then Dan, you know what? This brings up another question is about pre-planning what you're going to be doing for your targets, right? I mean, a lot of people just get out there and they just kind of just knee jerk. I'm going to go out there and just say, okay, this is what I'm going to shoot. And then all of a sudden when they start to rotate, they go, oh my God, I got to do all this stuff. Once again, pre-planning, I call it the 7 Ps. Prior, proper, prevention prevents piss poor performance.
That's too much. Say that 3 times fast.
If you plan it ahead of time, it'll be so much easier. And typically this is why what you do is you got to give it some thought to say, okay, this is a target now. I want to shoot this target, say, for the next month. What do I really want to do now? And so you got to sit there and you got to give it some thought. You want to say, okay, what's my orientation? So now I've got to take my darks, my flats. How do I going to do this? And once you think it through, it makes it so much easier then. But when you just haphazardly say, I'm going to go to 2 or 3 targets. It's funny. We had a guy that used to work at OPT, and he would try to image 15 targets in a night. And finally, I just go, God, Glenn, you can't do that, man. You're all over the page. Just focus on one. Focus on 2 targets a night. Believe me, you'll be a lot happier with what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, people want to try to get out there with new equipment. And they're going to say, oh my God, I want to get so much, but you can't. Just plan on 1 or 2 targets. Absolutely.
So it looks like, and I'm crossing my fingers here, it looks like I'm going to be able to get my hands on a Nix 101 by the end of the year.
Nice. Yay, you.
Super excited. Stay on target. Stay on target. Absolutely. I can't see him. but yeah. Oh, yeah. I try. You know, and you know what I never do? This is something I never do. Even though I got a good camera, I got good filters, I got a good scope. Just to give you an example, my setup right now is an Astrophysics 130 with a QHY 268 monochrome camera with a 2-inch filter wheel with all Optolong filters, including 3 nanometer narrowband. And one thing I never do, ever, is do a narrowband and a broadband target the same night. I just don't. If I'm
not even for stars?
No, not even for that. If I'm doing stars, I'll do it separate on a separate night. I will never, because something with me, and it's Dan Glitch Boy Higgins here, and something always happens during the autofocus when I switch from narrowband to broadband or vice versa. Something happens, something fails, something screws up, and it might just be a coincidence. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be just me being the donkey, me, but it's just, so ever since then I said, all right, you know what, I'll do my, like, if I'm going to do that, I am sure to be awake when it switches to the next project. So maybe maybe I'm only going to do an hour for color stars, or 2 hours for color stars. I'll do the color stars first, switch over to my narrowband target, make sure everything goes off okay, and go to bed.
Right. That's normally what I usually do. Is I will, if I'm doing something like that where I'm doing narrowband and then I'm doing my RGB stars, I will usually do the RGB first if I can, because that's only going to take me probably 3, maybe 4 hours, especially given this time of year. It won't take that long. Because you don't need a lot of time necessarily with your stars. So you might just want to go depending on your skies and everything, it won't take you that long to get those RGB stars that, for that session. And then everything else is,
And just as a side note, we got 29 people with thumbs up, and we had 44 people watching tonight. So guys, girls,
give us a thumbs up, everybody.
If you like what
you're
we're
on,
doing, please, give us the like.
help us out. Help out the
The
algorithm.
more likes this channel gets, the more YouTube will send out when you go on the side, when you go into YouTube and you get all these videos on the right side that are suggested for you, will get suggested to more people the more likes that we have. So it's super important for everybody to hit that like. So thank you. We're up to 32. So please, 33 and counting. So thank you for everything. The more likes that we get, the more it will, it will be suggested to other people of similar likes of what we're doing. So please press that thumbs up button. Thank you, everybody. 35. Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. Kevin's asking, do you change the length of focus between broadband and narrowband filters?
The length of focus.
When you mean length of focus, are you meaning exposure length? And if you're asking, the length of each of your exposures, then absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, you change that. That is change.
I would say 2 to 3 times.
Yes,
or more.
Because one, it depends on your skies.
Yep.
It also depends on the type of, because there's different types of narrowband bandpass, nanometers. So that may also dictate your exposure length, because you won't necessarily need as much time with, say, a 10 to 12 nanometer bandpass narrowband filter versus a 7 or a 3. The shorter the shorter the bandpass, that means that it's restricting a lot more light, and it's restricting in only giving you, it's restricting it to that specific bandpass, and it's really giving you that tight bandpass, of light in the spectrum. So you are going to need to expose longer for a shorter bandpass, such as a 3 nanometer, 4, 5 nanometer, versus a 7, 6.5, or even a 10 to 12. So yes, you will definitely need to plan to expose longer on a narrowband with narrowband filters than you would with broadband or your traditional LRGB filters. Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
and once again, Eric, think about the moon, because with narrowband filters, right?
Yes.
We got the moon HA, you don't have an issue, but if you got O3, S2, you'll get a lot of interference with the moon. So depending upon where your target is, you want to take that under consideration. As well as, let's think about narrowband filters and where your target is in terms of altitude. If you're at 30 degrees to 45 degrees, once again, you're going to have a lot more refraction. So you're going to have to depend upon the exposure time for your HA, O3, S2 because of that refraction. Typically, we always know that we want to image close to the zenith, because that's going to be the shortest distance. But if you're going to be at that 30 to 35 to 40 degree altitude, then you may have to kind of give a little bit more compensation for the particular narrowband filter that you're going to be using.
Now, when it comes to that, especially when you're talking film, when you're talking imaging in a full moon situation, because you've got the sky glow, you've got a lot of light coming off of that full moon. Yep. All right. So this is one thing that I was reading a little bit of this in Stargazer Lounge, and I had a question about this, especially when it comes to your tighter bandpass filters, say your 3 nanometer and your O3, especially your O3. I had a question and concern about that. Now, and how does that affect that, how does that sky glow, that moon and sky glow affect if you're imaging when it comes to using a O3 3 nanometer filter? Now, one thing that I was reading in some opinions here are it may not as much, because you have a much tighter bandpass.
Yep.
That may, but it also depends on where the moon is in your target, right? A lot of times especially when I'm imaging, say Abell 85, for example, I think they call it like the garlic or onion nebula or something like that. That is facing north. Okay. That is heading. Okay. So that's facing north. And usually I've got the moon way south, so it's total, opposite ends. I'm like over 100 to 150 degrees difference between my targets. So in that case, me personally, I've imaged, and it with 03, 3 nanometer in full moon, and it does not seem to affect what I'm doing because of that distance
Yep.
between the moon and my target being in the north of, but if say I was imaging M42 or the Rosette, anywhere where if there's a chance of I am within 30, 40 degrees or so of that full moon versus and my target is moving from the east to the west and it's going south along with that moon, that changes a lot of things. Then I would probably not, even though I've got 3 nanometer filters and it's, that it does have that tighter bandpass and that tighter, restriction, I still probably wouldn't risk shooting 03 because, that full moon is so intense. That light is so intense. I wouldn't even risk it. But being, if I'm shooting towards the north that way, if I'm over that 90 degree or 100 degree or plus of my target from the moon, then I may give it a shot.
And case in point, Eric, once again, this goes back to the planning phase, right? We look at our target, we say, okay, how close is my moon to my celestial target? You know what? How much O3 is in this particular target? If it's maybe 20%, for the next 2 nights, I'll just shoot HA. And then once the moon gets down into that kind of waning crescent or waxing crescent phase, or new moon, then that's when I'll go ahead and just do O3 and that's 2. But as I said, there's no substitute for planning. Believe me, take the time. The book, people talk about, well, what is my target? What image should I be targeting? Once again, you've got the book here, man, the Astronomy, Astrophotography, Sky Atlas. It will tell you what the target is. They'll tell you if it's an HA, is it emission, is it reflection? How, is it worth putting in an O3 filter? All this you can definitely use to plan. And as I said, you can get maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 good targets during the course of the winter. Case in point, like what you're doing, Eric, Abell 85, you're going to be shooting that probably right through until maybe March of next year to get that data.
Probably.
It's going to be a phenomenal image.
February, March, yeah, absolutely. And I'm okay with that, right? I am totally cool with focusing. A lot of time when I have a project such as Abell 85, I'm totally cool with spending a winter, right, focused on that because one, I love a challenge. I absolutely love a challenge, and Abell 85 is one of those types of targets, especially that that are so faint. It's gonna take work, and you've gotta spend that time. So yeah, one of the things that I'm personally, and I think Dan, we were talking about this, is we're going to start looking into making some either podcasts or videos or whatever, and we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff. One of the big things we're going to talk about is planning. My planning using and doing my routines versus Dan and his routines. What he does for planning and what I do for planning, also utilizing the ASI Air, him with Nina, things like that. So that's going to be something that we have been talking about doing as far as sharing that, like what do we do in those typical days or that time of the month or time of the year or season when we want to say, hey, let's, fall is coming up or winter's coming up. What do we want to start thinking about as far as for our targets for this time of year? And, and quite a bit, can go into it. Quite a bit can go into that planning phase. So we're going to talk a bit about that, and we're going to share a lot of that info with you guys.
That's going to be a
As
lot
you
of
said,
fun.
Eric, the key is plan a quarter ahead of time. So basically, if it's winter time, start thinking about what you want to do in the spring. When it's spring, think about where you're going to be in the summer. So at least you're ahead of time. And as I said, if you get the book, believe me, the book just makes it so much easier that you can really think about what targets you want to go after.
Exactly. Because like right now, I'm working on Able 85 for the winter. Okay. I've done a few others already, for the winter early that were really quick ones. But my big target right now is Able 85. But when it comes, so right now, that's all I'm going to work on pretty much. But so now I'm thinking about spring. So spring is galaxy season. So now I'm going to start dealing with this big guy right behind, this one here. Yeah, this one right here. The Schmidt. And that means for me, galaxies, that could be, the Markarian's chain, or it could be, other targets that are out here that I have not had a chance to go after yet. Could be M51, could be M33, but those are still out here right now. It just really depends. But it's going to be a galaxy. So, it's just planning and planning. That's the name of the game.
The book, what's the book, Dan? The book is called The Deep Sky.
The Astrophotography Sky Atlas.
Yep.
That's the one you want to get by Charles Bracken.
Yep. You sure do. And if you want, you can get a personalized one.
Yep.
And what he'll do is he'll actually sign it, but literally the back pages will talk what they call as an object index. And literally what it will be is he'll define what the object is, what the type of object is, what the RN deck coordinates are. Basically his comments, is it an HA? Is it an H2 region? Is it got a little bit of O3? So that means that you can plan for what filters that you want to be able to use to actually image on that target. But believe me, it's well worth the investment to get it. And as I said, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, and if you'd like to, and you're so inclined, I've talked about this with Charlie in the past when we've had him on. You can definitely send Charlie an email with your GPS coordinates, your longitude and latitude, and for $20, he'll make a personalized deep sky imaging planner for you, for your sky, where you are, your Latin longitude, and he'll send that right over to you for just $20. You can't beat it. You really can't.
And the other thing that's added in the book, which is kind of good, because a lot of people bring this up. They go, well, wait a minute, what is my field of view in terms of degrees, minutes, and seconds? So once again, we've talked in the past how you can determine what your field of view is with the camera and the telescope focal length. So what you do then is you start to say, okay, this is what I've got to work with. I've only got, say, 2 degrees by, say, 1.5 degrees. So what you do then is you kind of say, okay, these are the targets that I've got to look for. So once again, now you're going through this funnel, right? You're funneling out all the stuff that you don't need to be able to focus on the stuff and the targets that are going to be specific and suitable for your field of view, for what you've got for your imaging camera as well as your primary scope. And so literally then you can kind of say, okay, these are the targets. And then what you can do then is you can say, okay, now these are the targets that I'm going to be able to shoot for in the spring, summer, fall, and winter. So you can definitely plan a quarter ahead of time as to what target you're going to get into for the next seasonal change.
Yep.
Let's see, is this one?
Let's see, we're looking at. So, and if I don't know, Dan, I will. Do you have Charlie's email, or I can give it to you so you can share that?
Yeah. Yep. I got it.
So you can Deep Sky Imaging Primer, I believe. But you can send it. You can, if you're interested in a personalized Deep Sky Imaging planner, astrophotography planner for your area, for your latitude and longitude, you can definitely send him, like I say, $20 via PayPal or what have you, and he'll send that to you. He'll build it up for you and send it right over to you.
And you know what would be kind of interesting, Dan, is when Charlie's on, we should actually ask him to maybe talk a little bit about the planner itself.
Yep.
So that the people that we have as members can kind of get an idea about what is actually in it. I mean, it's a wealth of information that I mean, it's got sky maps, it's got all the data that you're going to need to do your planning.
Yeah. Because if you want, here, I can share my screen here really quick and give you an idea of what you would see or what you would get for a personalized planner. So I'll share my screen here.
Yeah, Dan, I don't think it's the Deep Sky Imaging Primer, it's the Atlas Primer. You know, the imaging.
It's if you see right here, the astrophotography planner.
Yeah, the Sky Atlas. It's the Sky Atlas.
The one that you showed is the Sky Atlas.
Yeah. Yeah, so either of those will work because the Sky Atlas has all the data in there as well.
The planner is the one that's that's
he'll
specific to your
find it.
latitude. If I remember right.
Yep. And so here's the planner that Charlie created for me, and it gives you a lot of good information here as far as how to use the charts, the maps, getting your ideas of moonless, new moon periods, dark hours. They're called over. So right now over the next 3 years, this year, next year, and up to 2024, which is really great. As well as if I go to a particular target here, I'm going to just look here. There was one I was looking at, but we'll just go one here. Like you have information as far as your moonless hours based off of that year, but we're going to just go here, say to the Seagull Nebula, and it will give you that size, the coordinates, as well as the rise set and transit times, as well as the quality imaging hours over the course. So if I zoom in here, those quality imaging hours over the course of that year. So for the Seagull Nebula, it would most likely start, for example, October and resume until close towards the end of April, right? So there's a lot of really good information here that it will give you to help you plan for those targets that are in your area. Now, this is only, I understand, this isn't every target that's in your area. No. This is only a small handful compared to what's actually out there. But it's a great start, and this can give you a lot of great hours, of imaging, just through this information right here.
Pretty cool. I love that
it
stuff.
is. It's really, really cool. I love this. And I use this a lot for what I want to work on over each season.
It gives you a lot of good input on what's out there.
It absolutely does.
Another good book that I use if you want something a little bit more with more objects in there. There is the 100 Best Astrophotography Targets by Ruben Kier. Yep, there you go. Right, I have it inside. I actually met Ruben Kier about 10 years ago when when he was coming out with his book, and he really smart guy. I'm sure he'll remember this night because he gave a. What do you got? Yeah, it goes month by month.
Now, month by month, like month November.
By month. It gives you pictures with normal astrophotography scopes too. So it's not like this was taken with a 20-inch RC. This, it gives you ones with good size scopes that everyone may have. Sky Tools 4 is awesome. I use Sky Tools for it. I love it.
Yep.
I'm not a huge fan of the imaging one because I have that as well. I love Sky. I have all of my logs for all of my when I did observations in Sky Tools, starting back in Sky Tools 2 that I had. Maybe it was even the original Sky Tools. I don't know, but Sky Tools is really good.
Yeah.
And what's
And
interesting
here's
is
like
Sky
for 10.
they give
Sorry,
the
Tyler, I was
ability
gonna
to
show this.
determine what your exposure times are.
What was that, Pete?
You know, even give
In
you
Sky
information on.
Tools, in Sky Tools, you can actually there's a drop down menu that you can actually determine. You add in a couple of parameters, and it will tell you exactly what your exposure time should be.
Yep, has a nice exposure calculator in there. Yep.
Craig Kinklaw.
Crinklaw?
I think that's his name, isn't it?
Crinklaw.
Crinklaw. I think that's what it is. But yeah, he's
Crinklaw, I think.
Yeah, Crinklaw. That's it. It's a really good little program he's developed in that Sky Tools 4.
Yeah, I love it. It's every once a year or something. I email him, and it's becoming a running joke over the past like 15 years. As I need my code again because I'm putting it on a new computer. It's like, damn, save it, will you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Crinklaw. That's it.
I was right.
That's it.
A really, really good guy. Really, I met him at Cherry Springs probably about 15 years ago, and really nice guy. What do we got going on? 9:30. All right.
You got any more critiques?
I think we do actually. I saw some stuff go across in the chat. I'll just see what's in there. And let's see. Yeah, we got a couple. Yep. And critique. And here we go. Oh. I don't know, Josh. Is this a critique? Because I couldn't download it, Josh. It was too big. It stops. I don't think it only loaded the first third of it. I think it stopped. It's only 30 meg. And it's a PNG, so that doesn't seem right. Origa baseline corners. Let's see what this is. Download this. This looks like somebody's having some issues. Download. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on here. Make it bigger. Let's make it bigger. And let's share. And here we go. All right.
Are we playing X's and O's?
Well, it looks like somebody's doing. It looks like Josh is doing the corners just so you can see the difference of the issue here, and that's as close as I can get. I think. No, I can get close. There you go.
Look at the star color in the bottom left-hand side.
This is the same thing. He's got some chromatic aberration here.
Yeah, he's got something going on there.
Got something. This is the same thing that we had the problem with the last week. He had this issue where it was orange, white, blue.
Yep.
Is it the same up here?
He says this is with the red cat.
I know. I don't. It looks weird, man. I really want to see your project file, Josh. I'm really curious to see because this is a fully processed image, right, Josh?
So this is supposed to be a Petsful?
Yes.
Yes.
So there's no flatter involved, but why then do we have trailing in that top right corner? You would almost think that would be a tilt issue, but you can see that it's moving from left to right, diagonally.
Yeah.
And this one, you're going right to left.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some tilt.
And then this, you got
It's
a
just
little
star
red to
color.
left.
But he's using.
This is
But
going left
here's
to
my
right.
here's my question, and this is just me for my own curiosity, just thinking about this. He's using, I believe, his Canon 7D.
T7.
Yeah. So he's using the ring adapter, the T-ring, right? So is there going to be a lot of tilt if you're just with that?
No, I don't think so. Well, there shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be. That's what I was thinking.
But I'm wondering, are you going right into the back of the Red Cat with that threaded? Because with that T-ring should put you at 55. So you should just really have
Yes.
to screw that camera on there without any other extension tubes. So, and you'll be right at 55.
Yes. If they didn't fix it right after I sent it in.
Didn't fix what right?
Didn't fix what? Yeah, that's what I'm curious. He said you sent in your camera or the Red Cat?
Or I think if I remember like a year ago, I think he was sending it back to Thailand. If I remember right.
Oh, back to
maybe
William?
Yeah, maybe I'm confusing you, Josh, with someone else, but weren't you? Yeah. Taiwan, not Thailand. Sorry, my bad. Taiwan. Sorry. But nope. Yeah, I remember the conversation, Josh. I was going to send that in for you because you were having issue with shipping, and I remember the whole conversation. But it definitely sounds like an optics issue. Did you perchance buy that from Camera Concepts? Because I can help you if you need help. Yeah, but USPS throws the telescopes. That's the problem. It's cheaper because you don't know if it's going to get there in one piece.
I'd swap it out for another scope. To be honest with
that's
you.
what I would do because I don't have that problem. You know what? In all fairness, I don't. I may sit there. I may get a T-ring and use my 6D and see if there's any issue with a with a. I don't think there is. I know plenty of people that use DSLRs with the Red Cat. I know plenty of people that use it and not have that problem. I would really, you know what? Send those pictures since you got it from High Point. Send those pictures to me, and I'll send them to Tegan or send them to Tegan directly, and maybe he could help you out. If you want to send them to me, I'll be happy to forward them for you. If you have his contact information, feel free to send them, or just go to High Point in general because that's not right. That the little rainbow skittle you got going,
Yep.
because it's a Petzl. It shouldn't be having those. And if it's can I ask a dumb question? Have you tried the camera on any other scope? A little bit of a delay in the chat. Check out my drizzle. The 2x2x2 I can't get download. I use it on my Z130 during Galaxy, and there were no color skittle things going on with the Z130, right? I don't think there was any. I remember some of the images that you had, and they looked pretty good for that 130. I was pretty shocked. Yeah. All right. Well, Skittles take the nebula. We're gonna do the Skittle Nebula. Yeah, I don't think it's a camera either. If it, because I've seen the images from the 130, and I don't remember seeing that rainbow. But I would say I would definitely get in contact with High Point Scientific and see what they could do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't sound like the camera. I seriously doubt it. You got something funky. Somebody spilled something on your scope when it was in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Something's not right. Something is not right in the state of Denmark. From Burnson Woods to Dunsinane.
So do we have any giveaway tonight, or are we making any
We
announcements?
do. We have the Masters of
photo of
Pixinsight
the month?
Class. So we could do that really quick. I just updated the wheel tonight, as a matter of fact.
And don't we have photo of the month today?
We do.
Yeah.
And Josh, feel free to re-upload that because that didn't take. So, all right. So here is actually let's do picture of the month first, a picture of the week first. Let's do that first. Let me get this. Where is? So for those of you that are new to the channel, we do a picture of the week every week, and they're voted on the website. So feel free to drop it on. There's directions on the website on how to submit your photos, and everybody gets submitted as long as you send it in by Monday, so we can start voting on Tuesday. So I can't spell AstroWorld anymore. There we go. And here we go. So here is the website. And Watch Astropalooza is right there. So if you click that for tomorrow, the link's right there. But if you go into image contests, and there's the last picture of the week winner, which was December 2nd. Oh, I didn't put a name there. Oh my goodness. Congratulations to I think that was Dave Schaefer, if I remember right. Sorry, Dave. I didn't put your name there. Oops. Okay, and there we go. So here are the current picture of the weekend entries. We have the fossil footprint with no name. Don't know who that's by. Then we got Josh Kovacs' Elephant Trunk. And M33 by Carl Crum. The Bubble. Michael Huber. Heart by AZ Forerunner. We had 26 votes. We have more than that. We have more people watching than we had votes. Come on, people. Let's vote. So those are the 5 pictures that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see who won. We'll go into WordPress. And what is it? The Wild People. There we go. And image of the week ending December 9. Ready? 26 votes. Here we go. Winner is Fossil Footprint with 14 votes, 53.85%. So, and I don't see a name on this. I'm gonna have to look and see if there's a name in the header. But congratulations to the Fossil Footprint. I'll update the website after Astropalooza. I'm not doing it tonight. so that there you go. Congratulations to the Fossil Footprint. 77 hours. 77 hours. Oh my God. Crazy. Nice job. All right, moving to the wheel. You got the wheel.
Whoa, look at that.
The wheel.
Unbelievable, man.
129.
How many entries?
129.
Wow.
Oh,
yep. Remember when there was like 30 and we thought that was a lot?
Yeah.
We have 129 people here. So this is for a free Masters of Pixinsight class. They just had one last Tuesday. But their next one usually is the first Tuesday of the month. Free information if you win. If you don't win, it's $35 for a class, so which is not that bad. So here we go. Rock and roll. And the winner is my buddy Jim Facasellis. Jim, congratulations. I'll text you later and tell you won. So
congrats.
Jim F. He'll be happy. MOP.
Right on.
Right on, Mr. Jim. Awesome. There you go. So those are the winners for the night. Let's see. Bam. There we go. All right. What is it? 9:40. We got more questions in the chat or no?
So I'm seeing here.
Santo, how you doing? Kevin, just found your YouTube from Masters of Pixinsight there, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for watching. We love having new people come on, and please smash that beautiful thumbs up button. Smash it.
Give us a like.
Any
really
new guests for
it.
tomorrow? So the new guest for tomorrow, if you missed it in the chat,
do we have a schedule? Do you have the schedule as far as hourly?
Yep, the schedule by time is on the website. Go check it out. I just updated it again last night. It does not include the most recent guest added by Sean. And Sean is going to be tag teaming tomorrow with Wayne Parker from Skyshed.
And Glass Tiger.
Just please don't play any Glass Tiger in the background, please.
Don't forget me
when I'm gone.
It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So tomorrow is Astropalooza, everybody. Please, if you haven't done so already, we are giving away a cash prize to a astronomy club that is registered. That means email to me your information about your astronomy club. The way we get this money is through the sales of the t-shirt. So go there and buy a t-shirt because AstroWorld makes no money from any sale of the t-shirts. It goes right to an astronomy club. That gets, just like the wheel you just saw spin, we have another, and if you want, I'll show it to you right now. I'll open it. And where is it? Club donation wheel. And even this one's getting a little bigger. Here you go. And we have now 21 entries to this. And these are people that have emailed me their club names to be in the running for any cash giveaways that we give. That would be a donation to them. So there you go. There you go. So you still have time to buy shirts. So buy, and Pete, you got skinny. What happened? Can't even see you. But yeah, go buy your t-shirts. Can I get a slot for tomorrow and extend the show? You really want you'll be on Astropalooza too, okay? Because I can't do 8 hours is a long time, people. I'm sorry. I would love Newman, if you want to come on, you know what, Newman, you could be on the live panel if you want. I got 2 slots open for the live panel. So if you want to be on the live panel, let me know. But I just can't. I can't extend anymore. The odds are, think about it. What are the odds that we actually end on time tomorrow? Probably not. People are going to run over. You know, we're going to talk about some stuff and things. This is probably going to end up till 11, 12 o'clock at night. It's going to be crazy. But, and just so everybody knows, don't leave until the end, because at the end of the show, I'm drinking a shot and a beer on camera, because I'm done. I'm gonna do a shot of proper 12 and slug it down with a beer. So
well, Dan, I'll be on at 11 to 12, and then I gotta disappear because the first playoff game. So
nope, I hear you. Yeah, you and I spoke.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and I'll be on right after the Army Navy game. So yeah.
Yep. So.
Hey, we still got 30 people. This is amazing. Look at this.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out and watching with us. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Out of 40 people, we got 38 likes. We can't beat that.
So no, not all the speakers are going to be on. I can't fit everybody on with this program. It's impossible. I only have 9 slots available, including one for myself. So only 9 are available. And in all fairness, a lot of people have, they got to go out. They got to do things with their families. They got to do things. So, people that are going to be on the live panel right now, all the Masters of Pixinsight will be on the live panel. Charles Bracken is going to stick around on the live panel. Sean Nielsen is going to stick around on the live panel. And maybe 1 or 2 others, unsure yet. So I do have some slots available, but other than that, that's going to be it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be as long as I have internet, it'll be fine. so wouldn't it suck that we have a New York blackout tomorrow?
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx yourself, man. Don't jinx yourself.
It's not the summer. It's not the summer. Oh, and what we're gonna after AstroPlue, last thing, and then we'll close out. I'm gonna start taking pre-orders for the calendar. After AstroPlue, the next Wednesday, I'm gonna start taking pre-orders for the calendar.
Okay.
Raffles drawing is tomorrow as well. Yes, I'll somehow fit that in for the computers and the what you call it? What's the other thing? I had 2 cash raffle. Oh, the Eagle Core.
Okay.
Yeah, the Eagle Core. Yeah, all of a sudden 39 likes, 39 watching. There you go. That's what I like to see. Join the Discord. Yep. Discord. We were at 98 when we started the show. Right now we are at still 98. So we're at 98 members on the Discord channel.
Wow.
So a lot of information is going on there. We are starting at 2. Yes, we are starting.
Starting 2:00 Eastern.
So the calendars, give me another day or so on the price on that, but it'll be somewhere between 25 and 27, something like that, depending on how low I could get them printed for. I don't want to get them printed too low at a low price because then the pictures start looking like crap.
Yeah.
So, all right, gang, it's got to step away. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Newman, catch you later. But will they be on the store? Yes, they will be on the store. I'm going to put them on the store. It'll be on the AstroWorld store. You can go there, buy it, and then I'm going to order them. I'm going to order them all at once. So you're not going to get them right away anyway. You're not going to get them till like probably, if everything plans all right, 2nd or 3rd week in January. So that's when you'll probably end up start seeing them in your mailbox, and then we'll take it from there. I already started doing the actual calendar and putting the pictures in and everything and doing all that. So if anybody who's watching that hasn't sent me their high definition picture, or that won the picture of the month, send it ASAP because you're going to hold up the process. So send it ASAP, please. But oh, my buddy Frank showed up. There you go. What's up, man? And you just showed up as we were closing the door, my friend. So so it's kind of like
day coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, closing the barn door after the horses come home. So but everybody, final thoughts?
No, again, great show. Thank you, everybody. so much for your participation. Had a great turnout. Really, really appreciate it. Let's just keep that momentum going for every show we can, getting these numbers. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like the show, share the show, subscribe to the show. It would really help us out, especially those likes and those thumbs up to, like Dan was saying earlier, to get our, name out there, when you guys are looking over in YouTube for astro imaging information and for us to, to pop up in your feed. We would really appreciate that. So, but besides that, can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a crazy day, long day, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I got to get my Xanax bottle out. Oh, Pete.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
Yep.
It is.
Great show.
Yeah, great
Absolutely,
show,
Dave. Looking forward to having fun tomorrow, and I'll see you definitely at 11 o'clock. And we'll look forward to all our viewer membership being on there as well. And Eric, always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
We never did much to the green screen, did we, Eric? On the back there?
Oh
no,
oh.
We'll figure that out. We'll get it all squared away.
And guess what, Pete? Guess what?
What's that?
The Isles beat the Devils 6-4.
Are you kidding me? The Islanders beat the Devils? Whoa. Oh,
that's my cue. When they start talking hockey, I'm out.
Oh, stop.
Amazing, man.
The Devils have, I think, 5 losses this year. 5.
I know.
And one of them was tonight.
Hey, throw up the link to the Discord channel.
Throw up the link to. I can do that
before we get out of here.
Yep, I could do that. Let's see. AstroWorld. On AstroWorld, let's go. And then where's the settings? AstroWorld settings. Where is it? Escape.
Hey, did you know that the Leafs have won 2 games in a row, shutouts?
They suck.
Dallas and the Kings.
Oh my God. Where's the I gotta remember where it is on here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Invite people, copy, and paste. And there's the Discord channel for everybody.
Cool. Well, good. Tomorrow, gents, that'll be a lot of fun.
All right, fellas.
And
And
I'll be at 11 o'clock.
yeah, for those, well, don't pop in at 11. Pop in at like 10:45. Yeah. And Eric, just keep me in the loop on the game. So
yeah, totally.
And then because the odds are that I think Sean's supposed to start at 4 New York time.
Okay.
And then but you know how that goes. Probably gonna be like 4:30 or so. So
that's fine. I'll probably be still on. The computer's here, the TV's there. I'll probably
nice.
be just
there you go.
Watching anyway.
The Giants win the
All
pennant.
Right, guys.
The Giants win the pennant. Oh God. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you so much. Don't forget Astropalooza tomorrow. Come buy a shirt. Give some money to a local astronomy club, and we're going to have an awesome time tomorrow. 13 guests, 8 hours, complete debacle, and at the end, see me do a shot. Everybody, have a good night. Remember, and as always, keep imaging, keep educating in clear skies, and we'll see you tomorrow on Astropalooza 22. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.